Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a seriously fascinating and honestly deeply contrasting set of source materials. First up, we're looking at UN news sources, specifically their rather alarming report stating that the world has officially entered an era of global water bankruptcy. And then, we're going to objectively consider the Philfo research in response to this exact crisis. It is quite a journey, taking us from grounded, stark geopolitical data straight into the realms of vibrational alchemy and cosmic forecasting. Let's get into it.
Right, so the jarring reality is presented right here. Kaveh Madani, who is the director of the UN University Institute for Water, Environment, and Health, makes it absolutely clear we have to stop thinking of our current environmental challenges as temporary shocks that we're just going to bounce back from. The source material flat out states that our temporary crises have permanently altered the global risk landscape. Put simply, normal isn't coming back. To truly grasp the immense scale of this issue, let's just look at the financial weight for a second. Drought impacts alone are costing the world an estimated $307 billion every single year. That is a staggering number. And as the UN texts highlight, this burden, well, it's not shared equally. It falls disproportionately on smallholder farmers, indigenous communities, low-income urban residents, and vulnerable youth, while the benefits of water overuse often go to much more powerful actors. This literally impacts the global food and economic systems that sustain every single one of us. Okay. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The global water bankruptcy. 2. The 2026 climate threats. 3. The Philfo Happy Earth solution. 4. Reversible rivers and tunnels. And 5. Philfo neutrino cities. Section 1. The global water bankruptcy. So, according to UN news sources, the world has officially entered an era of global water bankruptcy. This is a post-crisis state defined by the United Nations University Institute for Water, Environment, and Health. This concept completely reframes the global water issue. It indicates that human consumption and pollution have simply outpaced nature's capacity to recover, pushing critical rivers, lakes, and aquifers past points of no return. It's defined by two massive things: insolvency, meaning we're withdrawing beyond safe limits, and total irreversibility. The UN data clearly shows that our natural water savings accounts are being depleted vastly faster than nature can ever restore them. Think about this. Around 4 billion people currently experience severe water scarcity for at least 1 month each year. Since 1970, roughly 35% of our natural wetlands have simply vanished, and more than half of the world's large lakes have been in decline since the early 1990s. These aren't just statistics on a page. This is the literal depletion of the natural savings accounts we all rely on. The math simply does not add up anymore. Section 2. The 2026 climate threats. Now, from here, the source texts pivot and map out a highly unconventional timeline of severe events. They issue a red alert warning that a collapse of the North Pole's polar vortex in 2025 will lead directly into a catastrophic super El Niño in June of 2026, bringing widespread droughts. Furthermore, the text actually links this period to specific astrological and cosmic events. It states that Pluto transitioning into Capricorn from 2025 to 2043 hinders the flow of neutrinos to Earth. The document claims this creates a so-called neutrino fog, posing the serious risk of a regional cooling period or even a mini ice age in the northern hemisphere. And the authors of the text connect these massive macro theories to real-world events happening right now. They identify a recent outbreak of 27 cases of hepatitis A and jaundice in Patiala, Punjab. But they don't see it as just a local health issue. Instead, they frame it as what they claim is a clinical precursor to total river stagnation. Within the source material, it's viewed as the very first signal of a much larger planetary transition and the ultimate failure of regional hydrological systems. Section 3. The Philfo Happy Earth solution. Faced with these extreme forecasts, the source documents propose a highly unconventional framework called the Philfo Happy Earth solution. As you'll see, the Philfo hypothesis proposes a multi-dimensional approach. It is not just about digging deeper wells. Instead, it outlines mastering 4 sacred Sigdari channels. This moves from basic geological water storage and botanical integration all the way up into biological wellness and ultimately psychological resilience. It's a really unique model that attempts to perfectly harmonize community intent with physical Earth stabilization. The text draws a stark contrast when it comes to crisis response. Mainstream efforts rely heavily on short-term fixes, which, as the UN warns, only deepen the ecological damage.
The Philfo model, on the other hand, suggests moving completely away from traditional policy. Instead, it proposes bankruptcy management through immediate closed-loop infrastructure. And here's where it gets really interesting. It relies heavily on highly esoteric concepts, such as vibrational metrics and vibrational alchemy, specifically aiming to preserve the liquid crystalline structures of water. Section 4. Reversible rivers and tunnels. The mechanics proposed here to mitigate the 2026 drought involve physical engineering on a truly massive, almost unprecedented scale. The text argues that we are essentially wasting our fresh river water by just letting it flow out into the oceans. So the steps outlined involve literally stopping seawater from neutralizing these rivers entirely. Instead, humanity would rapidly harvest the fresh mountain river water into high-capacity emergency storage before it ever reaches the sea. That harvested water would then be redistributed via an intricate network of colossal subterranean tunnels straight to hyper-arid zones. But according to the hypothesis, this colossal engineering feat isn't just about water volume or basic irrigation. The text states the ultimate objective is actually capturing what it calls Philfo grace particles. The authors claim these specific particles reside naturally within the river water, and they absolutely must be harvested to ensure energetic purity before they are destroyed or neutralized by the saline sinks of major oceans, like the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. Section 5. Philfo neutrino cities. To understand exactly why these specific survival hubs are being proposed, we have to turn to the text's central justification. The cities are framed as a necessary, urgent response to an ancient prophecy cited in the documents, 12 Côte d'Iva Bale. According to the source, this translates to the burning of a single lamp across roughly 24 to 36 miles. It signifies a dark, looming warning, a drastic reduction in the healthy human population, and the onset of a devastating mini-ice age brought on by that neutrino fog we mentioned earlier. So to survive this upcoming period, the text outlines the construction of highly specialized biodomes and structures known as gumbads. These Philfo neutrino cities would supposedly sustain human genealogy by providing 3 core benefits. First up is total energy independence, which is achieved by harvesting thermal energy directly from neutrino-axion coupling. Second is 2D matter resilience, which the text claims provides immense structural integrity against massive seismic events. And third, zero radiation wellness, designed specifically to bolster human immunity against cosmic matter shifts. Well, we've traveled from the sobering, incredibly concrete data of UN news sources declaring an irreversible global water bankruptcy, all the way to the highly theoretical, multidimensional survival strategies of the Philfo hypothesis. So I want to leave you with this final question to consider based on our sources today. As our planetary crisis deepens way beyond the point of return and traditional short-term fixes continue to fail, how will we choose to adapt? Will humanity double down on traditional engineering, or will we be absolutely forced to transition to radical, unconventional alternatives just to survive?